morning, everyone. Today is March 14th, and the last time we were in the kitchen was February 14th. Today, I had to make some bread and pizza dough, so I figured while I was in the kitchen, I was going to try this saltine cracker recipe I found online. We haven't had any saltine crackers in a couple months because I was going to make them. Been busy trying to get my shop done, getting things planned out for the house. But today, I'm in the kitchen, so we're going to try this recipe together. I don't know how it's going to come out. I haven't tried it yet. The oven is preheated, so let's get started. Okay, so in our bowl we're going to double this recipe. We're going to put in 2 cups of all-purpose flour. And let's see, we need a half a teaspoon of kosher salt. And we're going to mix that up. Okay, now we're going to add 4 tablespoons of melted butter. I've already melted it, got it all ready to go. And we need 14 tablespoons of water. I don't know that I got enough water here, but... Okay, and there's 14. Tiny, hush now, please. Sorry about the dog. He hears the guys working outside. I'm gonna grab a fork, and we're gonna mix this up. This is supposed to be a super easy recipe. I'm hoping they taste good. If I could get a good saltine cracker recipe to come out that tastes good, then that's another thing we don't need to buy from the grocery store. And that's it. That's all that's in the recipe. So let me just check my recipe and make sure I got everything. Flour, butter, water, and salt. Okay, that's it. So we're supposed to turn this out. Doesn't even say to knead it. Turn it out and roll it out. I think I'm gonna knead it just a little bit though. Well, it is sticky. There we go. Now it's coming together. Very wet. It doesn't say if it should be a wet dough. I'm going to add a little bit more flour. Crackers are normally a drier dough from what I've found. Alright, it just says to roll it out now as thinly as you can. So I'm definitely going to have to flour the counter really good or it's going to stick. It's definitely a moist dough. We'll try the first batch and see how it comes out. I've also never tried to roll dough that I didn't let rest. So normally you let it rest because if not, the dough is just going to spring back. So we'll see how this works out. If the first batch doesn't turn out all right, yeah, the dough is kind of coming apart. If the first batch doesn't come out all right, then we'll knead it some more for the second one. I'm really shocked that it didn't say to knead it. Yeah, I'm going to knead this dough. I don't care what it says. The dough is falling apart, so... Well, maybe we're making our own recipe here because I'm definitely adding more flour than it called for. But I've never, even with my bread, you know, I can tell when there's enough flour in it, and this just doesn't feel like a cracker dough to me. So we'll find out. I do usually make sourdough crackers, so this is a new one. All right, I think this time though, I'm going to just take half the dough, and I'm going to let the other half sit, and let's see if we can roll this out any. Let's see, it did say turn it onto a well-floured surface, so. Didn't get that much of a square, did I? Okay. All right, that is less than an 1/8 inch for sure. And it does say as thin as you can get it, approximately an 1/8 inch or thinner. And that is definitely thinner than an 1/8 inch. So let's see what happens here. I have a pan here, and I don't really care what they're shaped like, because I can't cut straight with these pizza cutters. They wobble and they don't cut straight. For me anyway, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but. Whoop, definitely not a straight line there. Okay, I'm going to guess that I rolled this to about a 1/16 of an inch. So we'll see. And then once we see how this comes out, we'll know if we need to knead the dough some more or maybe roll it thinner. I did double the recipe because it says it makes 4 servings. It doesn't tell you how big a serving is. But I know in this house, everybody eats more than 1 serving. So. Plus, I would like to make enough that I could put some away. So if somebody wants a snack, they could just grab some crackers. Alright, I think we can fit 1 more on there. Okay, so I'm going to brush the tops of these with some butter. And I'm going to sprinkle some kosher salt on them because we like our saltines with salted tops. Put these in the oven for 15 minutes or until they're crispy. Well, that's all there is to it, to that recipe. I'm going to set the timer for 15 minutes and I'll bring you back and we'll see how they look. When they cool off, we'll see how they taste. It's an upside down heart. Because I love you guys for following and watching. Alright, so I don't want to cut it on the counter. Now that we've got it rolled out, I think it's the best time to put it on the parchment. There we go. Now when I cut it, I won't have to pick it up. So I think that's going to work out better. Got a little bit too much over here. We'll just toss it back in the bowl with the rest of the dough. Okay, let's check these. Don't want them to get that one there bubbled up. Don't want them to get too brown. They do feel crispy. They also feel very hot. We'll have to let them cool to find out. But that took 14 minutes. So we'll slide that right off of there. The pan is very warm. So I think we're going to slide this right onto the pan. My dough's a little bit too big for my pan. I am so bad at cutting a straight line. Okay, I'm gonna brush some butter on here. Well, my butter's not quite melted anymore, but that's all right. Sprinkle some salt on there. And this is kosher salt, in case you were wondering. It's coarse ground kosher salt. All right, we'll throw this one in the oven. And so here's the first batch. Ooh, that's definitely crispy. It definitely does not taste like a store-bought. Now see, these ones, because these ones didn't blow up, so they're still kind of moist on the inside, so they're not as crunchy. I'm going to let the second batch go longer. These are still kind of moist on the inside, but I don't want them to get too brown is the thing. Now see, that one's crunchy. Maybe if I could roll them out thinner, they'd come out crunchy without getting too browned. But it's not bad. It's not a terrible recipe. It'll work for stew, but we will continue to look for recipes We'll try different recipes until we come up with one that we really like. But it's not bad. It's not a bad cracker. Definitely roll it as thin as you can. Maybe let it get a little bit more browned so that it's more cooked in the middle. Because they're still a little bit soft in the middle. So maybe as they cool down, they'll get a little crunchier, but they're not going to get totally crunchy. So there you have it. Our first try at saltine crackers. Not bad, but not the best. When I find another recipe to try, I'll bring it back and we'll try that one.